A lot of things are happening right now for XRP, and we're seeing massive shorts piling in. And so this is making me wonder, are we about to continue far lower to the downside for XRP, or should we be looking to see a bounce happening right now? And so obviously all of this is happening kind of very immediately, and it's all very short-term type of stuff. So I want to get a video out to you right now just so you can see what I'm looking at, and I've mapped out some things on the charts as well, so you can see kind of where we're looking at with the charts, all of that type of stuff. But the first thing I want to show you is just the overall XRP chart, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about right now. And so first off, if we look right here, you can see that we do have the price actually kind of dipping right down onto this support. You can see we broke through it a little bit, but we have wicked up back above it here. So we are looking kind of towards the bottom of these Bollinger Bands here. We've seen a decent bit of pullback coming from XRP, where we had the recent highs of about $3.66, and we are now coming back down into the $2.70 range. Now, if you look, we have a couple other levels of support here between essentially where we are right now and about the $2.33 range. You can see here we've actually got one pretty close, about 265. You can see this is kind of the swing top for several different points here on the recent past. And then next you would see probably a little bit more of a even larger support here at about the $2.47, $2.48 range. And then even further below that, you could see we're going to have kind of a decent level of resistance here at the $2.33. And then from there, we're probably looking at something lower, probably in about the $2 range is kind of overall what we're seeing here. So we'll have to see kind of what happens here. Can we actually get that bounce that we're looking for? We saw a nice bounce kind of happening back here in the beginning of August when we did see that kind of first little sell-off here. So, maybe we can see that also bounce happen, or that bounce also happen right here. I actually did go in on a little bit of a small XRP short here. I'm watching very, very closely though for this little bounce. You can see not too much of a move happening here for XRP. We'd seen this at about 15 to 20% up is where we were. Now we're actually just kind of sitting and waiting. Again, as I mentioned, I'm looking very closely for that potential bounce here. If you are interested in trading and things like that, you also, of course, can join my links for BTCC, BloFin, or Weex in the description below. As you can see, I am trading here on Weex. I'll be monitoring this very closely and potentially taking some profit here if we start to see a potential reversal forming, which I do think is possible. Now, there's a couple of different reasons for why I think this is possible. If we go ahead and we take a look here, you can see we saw a whale open a $66 million short position on Bitcoin. You can also see having Ethereum and XRP shorts open as well. About $44 million open on Ethereum and about 8.2 million open on XRP. You can see the entry here is about $2.79. As we did just see, we're about $2.74. So this short would be very minorly in profit, at least for right now. But again, we don't know how long that is going to stay the case. So moving along, I wanted to show you one of the things that I've actually used fairly consistently, and it's been a very, very strong indicator of kind of what potentially could be coming next, particularly as it relates to liquidations. So of course, you can see here, we've got about 125 million to be liquidated on the long side, which again would be a move to the downside. Here you can see about 147 million liquidated if we were to move up on shorts. However, if you look at where the liquidations are, you could see even if we saw a move back down to about $2.65, that would liquidate about $87 million in potential longs here. So I do think that there is a possibility that we do see another further move to the downside, just because of the immediate range of shorts that we do have, or of longs here that we do have that could be easily liquidated, and then potentially we see a move back to the upside. Essentially, the theory here is meaning there's more money for the market makers to gain pushing price up than down. Now, that's not totally the case, as I mentioned, because all the immediate short-term gains would actually be pushing price further down. But on the 1 day, you can see it's about even. But if we look at the 7-day, you can see there's a much further bias towards moving the price to the upside, because it would liquidate a whole bunch of XRP shorts, about $648 million worth of XRP shorts. So I think that's really, really important to see here. And then if we look at the 30-day, you can also see a similar thing, about 761 million in shorts compared to about 178 million on the downside. So again, as I have mentioned, I think we could see kind of, if we're looking at all of these are indicating that more money is to be liquidated if they push price back to the upside than if we see them push price to the downside. However, we do have this very kind of dangerous spot here where even if we see price drop back down to about $2.67, we could see a decent chunk of shorts or of longs liquidated, and then we could potentially start to push back up and liquidate shorts along the way up. So that's overall kind of what we're seeing from liquidations here. Again, if you can see here on the chart, this is a very, very key point that we are looking to bounce off of. We can see a lot of whales starting to go short. Maybe that means they know something we don't. Maybe that means that the market is just usually wrong, right? And so where all the money is going, we should be going in the opposite direction. And potentially that's how we cash out on some XRP trades. Now, of course, as I did mention, you can see here, I do have that short open. Not sure how long I will keep it open. I have some price targets here. We'll see, this is kind of for like a longer swing short. I don't exactly know, if we'll see that continue to happen. But as I mentioned, if you are interested, you can also check those links in the description below. If you are looking to trade XRP, trade on the volatility. Also, if you are looking to keep up with what we are doing here, you can feel free to subscribe and then hit that notification bell so you stay up to date with all XRP content as well as other crypto and altcoin content that we do provide here. So hopefully you found the information in this video useful. Again, as we are seeing right now, shorts really starting to pile in. Does this mean it's potentially a time to buy, or do they know something that we don't? And maybe we need to kind of wait a little bit so we can scoop up some buying or some positions as we start to move further down. Now, generally how I tend to do this type of stuff, if we go back to the chart here, generally how I tend to do this is maybe we could start a small position here. Again, this is assuming we're starting from zero and we have 0 XRP holdings. I'm sure if you're watching this, most of you probably have some XRP holdings, whether it's short or long, who knows. But generally, if you're starting from zero, there's the potential where you could say, okay, maybe we see a bounce here. Maybe we'll open up a small position right here because I'm bullish on XRP. I believe in XRP long term. Okay, great. We'll open up a small position here. And then if we fall back a little bit further, maybe we open a bit of a larger position here. And if we continue to fall, maybe we open an even larger position, continue to fall, opening an even larger position. And then, maybe we get even back down to this level where we're looking at like the $2 range. And then maybe we open an even much larger position here. And then we eventually at some point we start to see a bounce again, because we are kind of long-term bullish on XRP. We start to see that bounce. And then you've been able to kind of capture some of the upside as price continues to move down. But you are exposed if we see, for example, we see XRP bounce right here and move straight back up to $10. Well, at least you were in somewhat, right? But if it continues to go lower, then you can kind of capture some of the upside from seeing some of this. So again, hopefully this makes sense. That's generally how I like to kind of DCA into positions and make sure that I'm sitting in a position that is overall kind of somewhat beneficial for me. So again, we'll keep you updated on all the things that are going on with XRP. And if you have any comments or anything, just drop those in the comment section. Of course, all the links to everything are in the description below. They are affiliate links. So just kind of making you aware of that also as well. So overall, thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.